Hi guys, and welcome back to the How I Failed in Business podcast. A podcast that every week is aiming to celebrate the losses just as much as we celebrate the wins, and talking about why sometimes they're blessings in disguise. As always, I am one half of your host, Sophia Grace.
And I'm the other, Rob Spence.
And today we are joined, as always, by a very special guest, Gary Parsons.
Hello, that's so
coming
professional. I'm liking this already. Yeah,
Sweating.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for letting me come here in the most beautiful part of Leicestershire.
Oh.
I've never been to any other parts, but it seems
You say that to them all, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a great shopping park on the way here. So
yeah,
there we go.
No, thanks for coming. I was a guest on your podcast. It seems longer ago than it probably was.
It was sunny.
It was. I was only wearing a t-shirt, so it shows how warm it was. But look, you're a great guy. We've been connected. We connected through podcasting, I think. And I think the comment we both said when we walked away from that podcast is it's nice to make friends through this. And I do consider you more of a friend. But tell us who you are.
You got me crying at the start already. You're like, that's very lovely.
Well, it could have been awkward. You said not at all, Rob.
Yeah, it's nice that you see it that way, Rob. Yeah,
that's right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Tell us about you. Tell us what you do. You've had an interesting journey over your career.
Yeah, let's keep it short, and then I'll let you ask me a million one questions, because I could spend the whole podcast telling you what I've done. Well, we will, hopefully. This year, in 2024, I am a leadership mental health advocate. I am a professional speaker. I'm a member of the Professional Speaking Association. I get paid lots of money to stand on stage and do keynotes and speak, and motivational, inspirational. And I also work as a executive mentor, so working with leaders, business owners, to make sure that they are prioritizing their mental health and well-being, which all sounds a bit serious for this podcast, I've got to say. However, it's the most important thing that we can do, because actually you guys have a lot of fun, and business can be really hard, really tough. And we just need people just to switch off and look after themselves and put themselves first, really, which is a real difficult thing for me to say, because there's so many times we talk about looking after employee mental health, and we always go, don't worry about the leaders, they're okay. But really, we do need to prioritize them, because that's why people have got a job, I suppose, as directly as that. So, it's so many things I do. Obviously, I run workshops and things like that. But, the main focus of the work that I do is to ultimately break that stigma that comes with mental health and well-being for leaders, and just get them to open up and talk like we did on the Leaders in Disguise podcast. I kind of get a plug in so
Please
quickly.
do, plug away.
Well, they can come and listen to your episode, because I think that was a really inspirational, and you called it an exclusive, so that was great as well.
I told you stuff that I've only told a select few people, so exclusives all the same. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think that's all about doing that, opening up and just saying, look, it is normal. We are just normal people. You'll walk past normal people in the street. I don't think I'm so normal. And we all experience challenges in our lives, whether we're a leader or an employee, whether we're on the front desk of a building or we're in the back boardroom of a building. So, just trying to get people just to realise that, it is tough, but there is a nice balance. We can sit on our beaches and enjoy ourselves and be served by people at parties and enjoy it, really.
So, can I ask what was the motivation for this direction you've gone in? Why do we need to talk about this within leaders?
So I said to you before, let's try and keep it quite light. So I'm going to try to in this. So, let's just keep it. I suppose if I can go serious for a moment, if that's
please
okay.
Please do. No, please do. Yeah.
So for me, in business, I've been in business 15 years. I still own the business that I've stepped away from, and I'll talk a little bit about that today. For me, there was a key pivotal moment in 2017 at the height of our success of a business. So I still own 50% of a business called Talkstaff, which is a people consultancy working with employees to really focus on their employees and not just well-being things, but recruit the right people, develop them, invest in them, pay them. That's normally quite a good thing. So we have a payroll team that outsources. Yeah, we've got to do that. Yeah, absolutely. And pay them right way, though. All of that exciting stuff. And ultimately build big businesses. We were growing and growing and growing. In some years, I think we were I think 1 year from memory, I should look this up actually, we grew something like 275% year on year. It was just going crazy. We weren't just in growth, we were in hyper growth. And I remember we entered an award, and it was all around commitment to people development with the Chamber of Commerce. And I sat there really confidently, actually, thinking, yeah, we're going to win this. We've done loads of work and we deserve this. And then the very last minute, I thought, but we probably won't. We probably aren't good enough. There's always somebody else that wins these things. I don't, you know when you go to a raffle and you get your strip of raffle tickets and you go, I never win a prize. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I never win these prizes. And we won this. Our name got announced, and I was holding back the tears. And I can't watch Holby City without crying. So you're in for a treat today. I think that's why they cancelled it, to be fair. I can't hold back the tears. So we got on stage. My two directors stood behind me. We were in floods of tears. And I had to stand on that stage and be celebrating our success, our growth of our business, what we'd done, not cry, and celebrate it whilst not telling people that I had severe depression. I was like in the deepest, darkest days of depression. I was crippled with anxiety. I was on antidepressants. I had a cognitive behavioral therapist doing CBT. And I had to stand there and almost live a lie. And for full transparency, when we get into our games today, I've already told you I'm rubbish at lying. And that day I must have done really well. And I went back to the office and said, I want to tell people about this. Look, we're successful. Look at what we're doing. I want to tell people that I'm struggling with my mental health. It isn't as amazing as it looks on the outside. I want to tell people that I'm struggling with it. And I'd absorbed myself so heavily into the business and what we were doing. I'd forgotten who Gary was. I was just talk staff. I wasn't Gary as an individual. And yeah, my co-director said to me, we can't do this. We want to attract investment. We're growing. And I agreed with him. It felt like the right thing to do. I still don't know if it was, but it felt a logical thing to do. So I kept my mouth shut and I carried on. And I did, as a phrase I'm using at the moment, so I made myself redundant. So I grew the business to a point where it didn't need me. I'd always said I'd step away first, really. And I decided that, this year was the year that I could step away from the business, disconnect, so it didn't have any damage if it did. And I'll say it didn't have any, to the opposite. And in April 2024, so 5 months of recording this, 6 months of recording this, I stepped away and put a big post out there and said, hey, you might think I'm really successful, but did you know I had depression? Did you know that I'd come dangerously close to losing my life because it had got really severe? I've never tried to take my own life, but it got really dark. There could have been days where it could have easily have happened. And the best thing that happened for me was talking to somebody, and he said, you know what, Gary, if you'd said this to me, and this is a big investor, if you'd said this to me when you were in that business, I would have invested in the business more with you in it than with you stepping away from it. And yeah, that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing now, to just help people tell their stories, bring people like you onto my podcast and say, look, not be doom and gloom and say, oh, it's all horrendous, but just go, yeah, it's normal. People die in our lives. People get ill. We get ill. I'm mentoring somebody at the moment. Her husband was in a severe car accident. She was nursing him at home. She now only works, I think, 5-10 hours a week at most. And we're getting her back into work, and she's so successful. She's amazing, I've got to say. She's got her mini-me, her 12-year-old daughter, and doing amazing. And that is just, unfortunately, that is normal. Normal things happen to normal people. And yeah, I said that was brief. That was that was quite long for brief.
It was a lovely journey, and there's some I want to ask some bits from that, if that's all okay. But I think now is the right time to pitch your podcast in a bit more depth. Actually, I think so. I know we briefly mentioned it, but I generally think that the message and the mission that you're sharing is so important, because don't get me wrong, you know, I think we are becoming a lot more open to mental health, and we're getting a lot better at talking about emotions and things that happen, but not necessarily for leaders. And I think, without putting words in your mouth, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it is tough for us as leaders to say, actually, I'm struggling. I cannot do this. I need help. I need support, X, Y, Z. Because would you say there's that kind of illusion of weakness if we admit that?
Yeah, absolutely. That, illusion's a really good word. I've spoken to owners of businesses, and some big businesses. They've sat in the car, cried their eyes out, looked in the mirror, grown men and I say that consciously because, again, there's a stereotype with men. If you're a man, you've got to be masculine and you've got to look strong. If you're a woman, you're already on the back foot because you're showing emotions, and if you show any more, then people will think, oh, we don't. So we don't win either way, do we? We've got those feminine or masculine traits. We're all disadvantaged. I was going to swear then, but we are. We're all.
By all means, let loose.
Yeah.
Let loose.
Oh, well, maybe a little bit further on. And you're absolutely right. People think that showing that vulnerability, and I do a lot of work on authenticity and vulnerability, and we think that leaders should be strong, and we think strong is not showing emotion, but strong is actually showing emotion. For me, the relationships that I've built with people and employees, again, like I say, I still own half of that business. Employees, the relationships I've built, the connections I've built, the permission that we've now got, this kind of unspoken permission, they never needed my permission, but now where they can say to me, I'm having a really bad week this week, actually, Gary. And I go, yeah. And they can relate to what I've gone through because they've seen me upset. They've heard what I've done. That's so strong and so powerful. But how strong and powerful is it to stand at a front of a room and saying, actually, we're really struggling this week, guys. Or actually, the figures for the business aren't going where we need to. We need to pull it together. That's strength. That strength to be able to walk through the door and everybody know that your other half's just being diagnosed with cancer, or you've just gone through a massive split up, breakup, or you're just generally just unwell and you're trying to keep going. Burnout, that's a word we hear so much now. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's stronger to keep going than to stop. And yeah, I don't know. There's so many conversations I could have.
But there's going to be leaders. There's going to be people that listen to this that want to sort of understand more, hear some stories. So where can people hear? What's your podcast called? Where can people hear it?
Yeah, so podcast is Leaders in Disguise. It's all about unmasking the leaders and saying it's okay to. I've started to realise it's okay to wear a mask, but if we wear a mask as a shield, that's not good, because masks can't be worn as a shield. But we might wear masks as different scenario. Say Leaders in Disguise, and hopefully there's less leaders in disguise by the time I give it all up, and I think it'll be a long time off. And the podcast is hugely popular on YouTube. I've not even looked. Are you guys on YouTube? We need to get on there if not.
We are on YouTube. Yeah.
So I think it's a great community out there on YouTube. So yeah, please watch, please listen. What I would say is it doesn't sound as doom and gloom as it is. Some really inspiring stories and tips. Can I tell you, Rob, by the way, our TikTok feed, unfortunately, it's just been beaten. Your tips on switching off and taking LinkedIn off your phone, I've not told you this, is now the second highest views on a TikTok. So you're really famous.
We'll have
now.
to we'll get the plays up after.
We'll sit here and just farm those views to get me to
number one.
Absolutely. So I don't know. You've been doing really well. Like when you're on X Factor and like all your family and friends vote in, you've watched it a lot.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Don't you worry. I'll get my mum on it tonight. That's amazing.
So just stories like that, just some real value of where we bring people like you to come and talk about tips, and it's really, I've got to say that the one that is really high is a really brave guy from Nottingham that talked about a relationship he was in, a domestic violent relationship that he was in, predominantly verbal, and how inspiring that kind of went there. So I think it's a good cause to be knocked off the top spot.
And I don't mind. I know the gentleman well. Am I allowed to name his name?
Chris.
Chris London. I know Chris London well. I've been connected with him since I started the business, 6.5 years. So it's a weird thing to say, a pleasant surprise to see him and his journey and his story. Because like I said, I've known him 6.5 years. Never knew half the stuff that he talked about. So,
and that business, by the way, I'm plugging it entirely. I'm so inspired by the people that I've had on there. A little bit emotional then. So inspired by the people that have come on with his business. He actually set it up whilst he was in this relationship with his other half, saying, "You're not good enough. Like, why are you bothering with this? What are you doing?" And he set up like an online driving theory test business. Yeah. He's made £500,000 to date on that business. So, he's done really well, really well. And yeah, really inspiring story. So, but yeah, you're still second.
I'll take second place.
Second best is.
I was reading an article from Jake Humphreys of the High Performance Podcast, and he said we need to reframe that second place isn't a losing position. It's still good. So I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that.
Absolutely,
guys. Afterwards, if we can just keep watching it, that'd be great. If we can just get those views up, that'd be wonderful.
I know what I'm doing this
weekend. I'm like, if it accidentally deletes from my TikTok feed, I am sorry, but
it's all right.
It was just a user error.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll put it on our own. We'll steal it. We'll get it going. But Gary, look, it's been great. Like I said, we connected probably 5 or 6 months ago, give or take. It's been lovely to see what you're doing, and I think massive kudos to you. I was stalking your LinkedIn this morning just to learn a bit more about you and sort of understand where you've been. But maybe is now a good time to maybe bring in fail or fiction?
Shall we? Do we dare?
I think we should. And we'll put Gary's theory of being a bad liar to the test.
Oh, no. So I'm looking around for the leaderboard. You need a physical leaderboard in here.
We have one, but it's only tiny.
Okay, it's a piece of paper.
So we are still, for some reason, looking to invest in a whiteboard. I don't know why that's what we've not.
Remember the thermometer on Top Gear? I mean, no one watches Top Gear anymore, do they? But, you need that.
We should do, actually. Yeah, look, times are tough. Sophia, I've had to get the doors planed down today. So, Molly, how are we looking on scores, Molly, at the moment?
Scores on the doors. On my old tools.
The guest is still winning with 11-8.
Oh,
11-8.
It's quite tight.
Okay.
It's quite close.
Well, hopefully your next guest is really good.
Well, we'll put you to the test. So, for those that are new to the concept, during the podcast, we play 2 truths and a lie, but we call it fail or fiction. Okay? So, Gary, what we'd like you to do is share with us 3 stories. Now, you've been given the most warning about this than a lot of our guests, because I told you this morning.
You did?
Now,
just before I was on a 2-hour touring session. Yeah.
I mean, normally people get an hour. So
sometimes they're in that room just off there.
Took me an hour to get here.
Yeah, exactly. So you're welcome. But so I want you to share with us 3 stories. We're hoping 2 of them are true. So things that have happened to you. That have happened, and 1 that's made up and sort of quite false. Okay, Sophia and I have to guess which is the false and which ones are the true stories.
But you've looked at my LinkedIn, so you've already cheated.
Well, I've not.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I know the answer, I'll stay completely quiet.
Yeah. Me and Molly have remained objective. He's a cheat.
I am a cheat, I'm afraid. So over to you, Gary.
If it's in a public domain, then it's okay.
Look, I'm just a born winner. Okay. So come on then, hit us with these stories, Gary. Okay. What have we got?
So my first one, and hopefully this doesn't put me in a really bad light. So the first one, you looked at me really seriously. You're taking this deadly serious.
I'll look away.
Yeah. So my first one, a little bit embarrassing. So I'm not particularly great with my timekeeping. Have an amazing PA called Hannah. Through my own fault, I was delivering an amazing leadership workshop. So a room, quite a big room of people. And it was only in Birmingham that I had to drive to, but not too bad to get to. And I turned up to deliver a workshop, just an hour, for this big team. And it was... basically on the same day of the week, just the wrong week. So it was in my diary for the 22nd or whatever it was, and it was basically rubbish of maths or whatever it was.
Like a week soon,
before, 13th or whatever. So effectively, so I got to the conference. There was actually a conference running because it was a conference centre. It's one of these places where you go to and there's like 3 floors, so you go and there's like a room where they've themed it, so it's like a local celebrity or whatever. Walked through the door. There was another conference going on at that time, announced myself to the people, said, okay, well done, yeah, thanks very much, yeah, great to have you, would you like to take a seat, so-and-so's on stage at the moment, when they're finished they'll come and see you. There was a coffee break, about 20 minutes of just sat there, and I was thinking, okay, this isn't really the topic that I thought it was about. So that's when it started setting in, and I started to think, this actually isn't. Molly's looking at me really seriously.
That's just a face.
So start to think, okay, this isn't the company that I think it is. But ever a true salesperson and a professional, maybe what I'll do is I'll just try and have a conversation with people, and the panic starts setting in. The great thing about having difficult mental health over the years is having like anti-anxiety tablets available. Probably not the best week that I stopped taking my antidepressants. And that's a little nugget of information for you. And went on a coffee break, came back and they were like, sorry, who are you? So ironically, worked really, really well. I stayed around a little bit longer. And as a true professional, my GCSE drama came in, a C in drama, basically got up on stage and just told my story. And it was a really, really good relationship that I've built with them. I've not delivered any more workshops because I wasn't doing it. But yeah, I basically stood up for 20 minutes and just told them about my story. And it kind of fitted in with their like inclusivity, mental, because lots of companies are doing that at the moment. So so it fitted in with their day. So it went really, really well. Could have gone absolutely disaster. And then the following week went to it and did a really good workshop. So didn't tell them that I'd turned up a week early. I'm not going to tell you who it was.
Story number 1. What about story number 2?
Yeah. So story number 2 is, so over the years, entered lots of different programs, lots of different awards. It was me, my business partner David, in talk staff, we went along to a select committee, so there was a few of us in a waiting area, and we had to go and deliver a presentation to the the group of people, the judges for that. And I think there was like a little prize of like mentoring and stuff at the end of it. We walked through the door, and my eyesight is horrendous, and ultimately there was like 3 people sat there. We delivered this presentation, we got loads of questions asked to us, and I still don't know today, but I think Deborah Meaden might have been one of the judges that was sat on that panel.
From Dragon's Den.
That. Yeah, I'm glad that you know that really famous person that you recognise everywhere. And she asked us a question, and I said, "I'm really sorry, I didn't quite catch your name, but the lady in the corner over there, you said something about this and answered a question." I walked out and got in the car with my business partner, and basically said, "Was that Deborah Meaden that was sat in that room?" So basically, my second story is that, or true. Is it still a story if it's true or? Well,
we don't know yet. We don't know.
There we are.
Guess. Who knows?
Maybe I'm double bluffing. You don't know. And
You offended the dragon.
To date, I still don't know whether I upset Deborah Meaden.
Okay, so we got the turning up on the wrong day, but it pulling off, ignoring Deborah Meaden.
Yep.
What about number 3?
Number 3, really short and simple, really. So we've multi-award winning business, I've got to say. Talk staff, really great. Been nominated for lots of different awards. The worst one was when I basically fell off stage. And because you normally have like stairs either side, don't you?
Yeah.
I was a bit overwhelmed and very excited. It wasn't the one I spoke about, and got on stage and was really, really pleased with it. Walked off the front of the stage. Luckily didn't hurt myself, and basically I stumbled off stage. I think is probably the best way to describe it. And I don't think anyone, maybe I'm hoping they were too drunk to remember. But as I explained to you earlier, I don't drink, so although maybe I was drinking that day, but certainly wasn't drunk. And effectively fell off the stage at an event, which was deeply embarrassing. And I think it was a newsreader that was on like BBC that was presenting it. And she went, "Oh, shouldn't have done that, should you?" And then carried on reminding everybody else to go down the correct way after that.
Okay.
So
So you've got business from turning up at the wrong day, upset or ignored Deborah Meaden, and caused a health and safety fiasco.
oh no, the health and safety was perfect after that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you've
Yeah.
improved the health and safety then. Molly, initial thoughts, what are you thinking?
I generally don't know.
No.
I'm really
Oh,
stumped.
done all right.
Yeah, you have done okay.
I think all of them could have happened.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I don't know. Yeah, I think you're not as bad of a liar as you.
A good storyteller.
So full transparency, I only started thinking about this on the hour on the way here. So I have made these
You've
up
done
in the
very
car.
well.
Or
No,
not.
you've done really well. So I think all of them are plausible.
All are plausible.
Even today, I turned up to an event an hour and a half late. So it's a doable thing, not necessarily a week.
I've gone to an interview the day before, which is better than going to an interview the day after.
That's true.
Well,
that's true.
I could understand it if it was like the same day, if it was the Thursday the week before.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the
No.
day before they just
day
like, why are
before.
you here?
And that is essentially, yeah. And I still got it.
Did you get the job? Yeah. It wasn't here, just so you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I've had someone on my podcast that turned up to the wrong job, and it was a really senior job, and they asked her back for another interview, and she got that. So yeah, tip for you: if you know
Brilliant.
that your colleague's going for a higher paid job, go for that one
Just
by
go for
accident.
it. Yeah. So I think because I really hope number one's true, because I think it shows that kind of salesy kind of, well, let's just roll with this. Let's not
Chutzpah.
panic. Let's just go with it. I hope that one's true. I kind of hope the last one's true.
Falling off
Just
stage.
That's just
We've
cool.
had a
on that
couple
day.
of falling off stage stories recently.
We had we had
Susan.
Susan fell off a stage, numerous stages. I think she was
Yes.
talking about. The Deborah
Was that her
Meaden-
true or a lie? Did she actually
That
fall off
actually,
the
Oh.
that wasn't. That was part of a whole separate story.
We
Oh,
had to
right.
change the podcast to how I fell in business because every story
fell.
involved falling, tripping, stumbling,
And she then tripped in it.
and then she did. Yeah, so I don't know. We need to lock in on one at least, so we can play mystery mishaps before the break.
Which one are we most erring towards being true?
Moles,
First one.
what you think that's true?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like I need to get can we get copyright for a countdown music? And,
Yeah. Well, I think we stole some once before, didn't we?
Oh.
Oh no, we did the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. But we played it about Bovril. So we changed it to Who Wants to Be a Bovril. We may
Okay.
bring it back at some stage, but it's quite a niche quiz.
Interesting. For the older generation.
There's only so many quiz questions you can make about Bovril. So I'm
Sorry, I'm
happy
buying
to
you
lock
more
in
time
number
here.
one.
Should we lock in one?
I think so. So Gary, we believe that the story of you turning up a week early, I think you said, for a speaking event is a true story.
Yeah, I've done really well here. No, that's not true at all. I've got an amazing
What?
PA. Like, you complimented how amazing my PA is.
What?
She'd never do a mistake like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was like really
that was
visualizing
the one
it.
where I was like, that
Well,
happened.
I mean, I've had a friend that's turned up to the wrong wedding and drank all the wine, started dancing on the party.
Not
dance
as the
floor.
groom, were they?
No, they went
just
to a
as a guest.
party and they were like, we don't know anyone here. And they got a phone call going, where are you? And they'd gone to the entirely wrong venue. They drank all the wine on the table and had to drive to the other one. So,
Oh,
that
brilliant.
gave me the inspiration for
Oh
it,
my
really.
goodness.
That was their inspiration.
So I mean, that
Do you want a second guess?
that scene drama in GCSE went really because of how much detail.
Yeah, she said I should
Yeah.
have got an A.
And I think because you were like so much detail in that one and not enough detail in the last one, I was like, well, it's surely that.
So what's your second guess then? I'll give you.
Well, I think
we
we're getting.
get-
Is it 1 minute till break? Is it? So
Oh,
what
sorry,
we'll
go
do?
on.
Shall
No,
we
we'll break for break, and then we'll keep guessing.
reassess?
Reassess. So stay tuned for these very brief messages. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Podcasts have had a massive boom recently. They've been around for a while, but they are right in the forefront of everyone's mind right now. And I've no doubt that people listening to this will want to start their own podcast. What should they do, Sophia?
They should get in touch with us at Paragon Creative Studios.
Absolutely, they should.
Whether you absolutely don't know where to start with podcasts and you want us to fully produce, edit, and everything in between, we can handle that. If you just want some space, if you just need some kit, we've got every different offering that you could possibly look at so that you could design your perfect podcast.
Absolutely. We've got 3 separate recording rooms over there ready to go. ready, polished, and we want to hear from you. So perhaps you've got a great story to tell. Perhaps you want to market your business by using the power of podcasting. Maybe you want to interview some of the best people that you know. Whatever your podcast idea, we'd love to work with you on it. All you've got to do is visit www. I don't know why I said www. That's like a given, isn't it? All you got to do is visit our website, paragoncreativestudios.co.uk. Give us a Google, send us a message, and we'll get everything set up for you.
How exciting.
Hello and welcome back to How I Failed in Business. Now, if you just missed before the break, we just absolutely got bamboozled by Gary Parsons, today's guest, who had us completely at Fail or Fiction. So, Gary, I want to dive into the true stories in a moment. So the false story, if anyone missed it, was the fact that you turned up a week early for an event, you won everyone over, still got up and talked, and you did some work with them. Massive shout out to Hannah, your PA, because I know how wonderful she is. I know how brilliant she is. So
you see you're backtracking now. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I'll send this clip on to her separately. But before we dive into those true stories, because now I feel awful. I said I hope the last one is true, and actually falling off a stage, and it did.
Yeah, it was only a stumble. It was fine.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it wasn't as
Well, we'll play our other game, Mystery Mishaps, before we enter into those, if that's all okay.
Let's go for it.
So once again, you are pitted against it's guests v Sophia and Molly, I'm afraid. So it's kind of two versus
I feel like get your own backers here now.
Oh gosh. What if you beat me again?
I'll be on. I struggled on this one.
Oh yeah.
So yesterday we played Mystery Mishaps. So in last week's guest was Gavin last week technically.
Gavin,
yeah. So Gavin, he got it straight away. Like the whole game was ruined. He ruined the game. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping you can make it last a bit longer. Yeah. So Mystery Mishaps is a very simple game, and if you're listening or watching at home, please do play along. I have got a UK brand, a business, a company that's either failed, that's made a mishap, that's gone awry, that's had some financial difficulty or whatever it is. I'll share with you some clues. You've got to guess who it is. Technically, there's 5 clues. I'll give you a bit of a synopsis beforehand. The second you know who it is, just shout out, okay? So where are we up to on the score? Are we on the same scoreboard as all the other games? Okay. So technically, what's the score now?
12-8.
12-8.
12-8, okay. Are you ready to play, Gary?
I'm ready.
Just bear in mind.
Yeah. Can I phone a friend at any point?
We can do a 50-50
okay.
at some point, but yeah, just no pressure, but the guests are winning, okay?
Okay.
You don't want to let the team down.
Yep.
So
Fine.
this is a trendy UK-based clothing brand launched in the late 2010s, and they gained popularity for bold, sustainable fashion and celebrity collaborations. Very highly praised for eco-friendly materials and commitment to reducing waste.
Can I throw in a name in there or not?
God's
No.
sake.
Like
Humour me. Let me give you official clue
yeah,
one.
just finish.
Okay.
I'll let you finish the question.
I'll give you official clue one. I've kind of already said it. The brand built its reputation on sustainability and eco-conscious fashion, often touting its use of recycled materials. What's your guess?
Can I give you the first clue?
Yeah, no, please do. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Is it Boohoo?
It's not Boohoo.
Ooh.
So that's minus 20 points. No, it's not really. No.
Is it not Boohoo?
I thought no.
Because I was thinking, it's a Leicester. They were like Leicestershire based.
They are. Yeah, they were. But I think.
Yeah.
Or at least like one of the. It's all confusing, isn't it? Like one of the suppliers.
Well, yeah, one of the suppliers and stuff like that. Oh, okay.
Right, so
that's my
clue
only
number
guess.
2. Known for its celebrity partnerships, the brand's collections often sold out within hours of being released online.
Okay.
Okay. I'll give you clue number 3. In 2022, so quite recent, an investigative report revealed some of the brand suppliers were using factories with poor working conditions and low wages, contradicting its ethical promises, which I think was around the same time as the Boohoo scandal.
Is it a subsidiary of Boohoo?
Oh,
I'm just checking now.
I've got another answer as well.
Go on then, check it out.
Sorry, you're going to go with your...
Is it Misguided?
It's not Misguided. No.
Was it ASOS?
Not ASOS, no.
Because that was like ASEAN, yeah.
No, the more names you throw out, the higher the legal suit will be against us.
Mom, have you got a
I remember
guess?
M&S kind of got into some...
Did they?
I think... hopefully I'm not defaming them. But
no,
yeah,
I think everyone
so
got
many.
I'm
caught
trying
up.
to
Yeah.
think of everything that Boohoo owns.
In the style.
Oh, no.
I know most of them are owned by like House of Fraser Group
Oh.
and all that now.
Yeah.
So House of Fraser Group.
H&M,
Trying
H&M
to.
group.
I'll be honest. They do look like an umbrella company of some variety, but they seem to be a standalone brand.
Pretty
Oh.
little thing.
No, I'll give you clue 4. So they did issue a public apology and vow to overhaul its supply chain, but the scandal led to a significant drop in sales and customer loyalty.
Wasn't Primark, was it, or something like that? No.
No.
They're still in business, though, aren't they?
So I'll give you clue 5. Despite the controversy, the brand remains active and is trying to rebuild its image through increased transparency and more stringent supplier audits.
Monkey?
Whom?
Monkey?
Monkey?
Monkey.
Monkey.
H&M group, right? You know Monkey.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Who as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So
Oh.
that's the end of my clue. I don't think I can tell you anything else.
Is it one of these kind of brands that we're talking about?
I will tell. Okay. I'll give
Or
you
are
a
we
clue.
What's the
losing
first
us?
letter?
I might get, okay, that'll be
Oh.
clue 7. Clue number 6, they offered a very unique so the company partners with major luxury brands and offers a rent to buy option for customers who fall in love with their rental items. So it allows individuals to list their
Oh.
own wardrobes, creating peer-to-peer rental marketplace.
I can see it. I can see it.
That's probably like the best clue out of them all, isn't it?
I know. Oh no.
Would you like clue 7?
Mm.
Does it start with a V?
No. It's 2 words. Something.
You've lost. You said misguided.
I'll give you a.
Clothing rental, so high-end rental clothing.
Is it Moss Bros?
It's not Moss Bros.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because then you can rent from that. So they guess it out.
Yeah.
Ted Baker.
My friend used them for her graduation dressing.
So this is clue 7.5 because it's similar to the one before. The platform also encourages longer rentals with tiered discounts, making it easier for customers to access designer fashion at a fraction of the retail price.
Wasn't Net-a-Porter, was it? No, I
No.
don't
That's a
know.
good guess.
I'll give you a final
Just a really
clue.
glamorous
What does
thing.
it begin with?
Calm down, Molly.
Tell her.
I want to know.
Molly's on the edge of her
Yeah.
seat.
What does it
I'll
start
tell you, I'll go better than just what it begins with. I'll tell you the full second word.
with?
Is that
Okay.
fair?
Okay.
So it's something collective.
Lux Collective.
No.
Collective.
Oh, I really hope someone at home at least has got this. If
Wow.
you have guessed this, do drop us a little
Is
note
it
on
just
social
Fashion
media.
Collective?
No.
Style Collective.
Do you want a thesaurus?
I need to stop buying more clothes. I'm charity shopping vintage through and through at the
Hey,
moment.
listen,
I'm
it's
trying to be
working.
more sustainable. So if we don't know them,
Yeah,
they're not
these
doing
guys
very
are trying
well.
to be more sustainable and failing.
Failing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to call it a draw,
Yeah.
aren't we? The Her Collective. HURR. So, full transparency, I'd never heard of this.
Who?
I don't think they need to worry about bad PR.
No,
They just need to worry
What's
about
that?
having
All
no
PR's
PR.
good PR.
they just
They,
need to.
they need to go in and do more bad things.
Yeah, I'd never heard. So, UK-based fashion and rental platform that focuses on sustainable fashion by offering high-end designer clothing rentals. It was founded in 2019 by Victoria Prue. The platform allows users to rent luxury garments for special occasions rather than purchasing them outright. So the goal is to reduce fashion waste by encouraging people to rent instead of buy, particularly for items that they may only wear once or twice.
Well, someone's now going to go to that website because of you. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's worked.
Her Collective,
Commission.
we are open for sponsorship.
Mhm.
Affiliate links. yeah.
By all means, we accept commission. We expect
But not with brands like that.
Yeah,
Not
no,
with brands like
no, we
that.
want sustainable brands like
Absolutely.
last week's guest, Dot
Done
and Lola.
Lola.
But look, thanks for playing our little game. It keeps
That's
me on the edge of my toes, keeps me
Absolutely.
happy. Let's get back to you, Gary.
I'm
if
glad
you
we
can.
failed that mission.
You did. You did.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Look, I will take
We're on
some
the
of the
sinking
blame.
ship together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, it was a tough
Go
one
team.
that week. It was a tough one. It was a tough one. So just before the break, we did play Fail or Fiction, and we got it wrong. We completely messed up. We thought you turning up on the wrong day was a true story. So remind us, what are the true stories?
Yeah, so ironically, Well, yeah, so the last one you said about, I kept it really short, and I thought if I keep it really short, they'll be like, oh, he's not really put much thought into it. But yeah, I genuinely did fall off stage. It was, when Miranda falls gracefully, well, she doesn't, does she?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a graceful fall.
Okay.
Maybe somewhere between a fall and a stomach. It definitely was a fall. And yeah, you should see the alarm on people's faces. But why did they do that though? They should put like a big safety thing on there. But yeah, I'd forgotten about it until today.
It's always been one of my worst nightmares.
I was going to say that's like an anxiety dream of mine, is falling off a stage.
It's like, because every awards we've been to, because there's been so many, I always panic. Because at the start of the awards, they go, right, if your name's called out, come up these stairs, come and do this, then go over there,
didn't do that.
then doing this. And I'm like, I didn't listen to any of that. I've had some Prosecco. I don't really know where I am right now. I don't know what's going on. So I always panic, when your award is one of the first ones, because at least if a couple of other people go, you can watch and just see what they do. So I mean, how high was the stage? I've got that
excuse actually. I think I was like halfway through the night, something like that. So
we can blame. I know you don't drink, but we can blame the Prosecco.
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, the adrenaline, things like that. So I'm going to say it probably was as high as your chair, maybe a little bit more. It was definitely of a decent
good
height.
Tumble.
Yeah, it was a low windowsill of a house, like for everyone at home. It was fun. I'm just accident prone, maybe. I don't know. So
that in
maybe
heels
not as much as your other
my
guest.
nightmare. Just your ankle just snapping from beneath you.
Yeah, that's why I don't wear high heels.
You've not got the legs for it.
I don't actually. No, I really do. I really do not. So was that an awards night? Was it?
It was. I can't remember which awards night it was. I think it was. Yeah, that sounds really arrogant of saying it's one of the many awards. Yeah. I mean, you go to lots of these things, obviously, as well. So, multi-award winning business. So wasn't just me. The team did really well. Small Business of the Year, Commitment to People Development, Employer of the Year. In fact, I think it was the Employer of the Year one in Nottingham. I think it was that one. I'm not going to say who hosted it because they were a client of mine who hosted and ran the events.
Yeah.
And might be a company that I speak to regularly at the moment. It was great.
So then the other true story, remind me, you completely blanked and ignored Deborah Meaden.
Yeah, well, allegedly. Yeah, so it kind of, maybe that's why it was there, because it genuinely, I thought you would have said that was the true one, because I was like, it genuinely was a day where we were really nervous again. We did an amazing presentation, and we still say today we shouldn't have done a really good presentation because we didn't need the support. You got a free mentor, you got onto a program, and we did an amazing presentation. We got one of our employees to do a mini video and talk to the judges, and then we walked out going, yeah, we really need your help. So we did what I think was an amazing presentation, but I think potentially we didn't win it. It's because we upset one of the judges, and that might have been Deborah Meaden, who is a fellow vegan and sustainable person. So who I think very much of if she, when she listens,
she will listen.
Yes,
she
long-time
every
listener.
week. Yeah,
absolutely. So really deeply embarrassed. No. It was like, sorry, I can't remember who you were. The lady down there, whatever your name was, it was literally. You could imagine me there with my spade at the front going, whoever you are, I don't even know why you're here. It's really, really embarrassing.
Probably could have only been made worse if you fell off the stage, or whatever you stood on during the presentation, right?
Just double it up.
To make it even worse, I think it was called something like the Dragon's Den of Business Acceleration Awards or something like that.
Losing the title,
so
I don't know if it was there.
Is it Steve Fisher used to
Duncan
be
Bannatyne? Yeah.
I'm trying to remember Steve Fisher, I think his name was, who was the old CEO at Derby Telegraph. Okay. I need to drop him a note and just be like, did Deborah Meaden ever come to your premises? Because I think I might have upset her.
We need to ask. Well, Deborah, if you are listening, can you just let us know, did Gary blank you?
Yeah, slide into my DMs. And that's what the kids say now. So.
Exactly. Well, look, you had us stumped on the fail or fiction questions, so well done.
Right.
Well done. So does that mean Gary wins? I guess it does, doesn't it?
What do I win?
Just
bragging rights.
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We do still have jingle tingle, so
I won't walk out.
For.
And I went to a Parkinson and walk out there. It's fine. I'll stay right.
Yeah, sit tight for jingle tingle. But before the break, you were talking about your, the journey that you've been on and what you're doing now. And I want to ask you a question, because it's something similar that we kind of asked our guest, or technically last week now, Gavin Taylor. You built this successful business from the bottom up, if memory serves me.
Yeah, 2009 in the middle of a recession. Craziest idea I ever did, but best idea. Yeah, moved 100 miles away from home, but yeah.
Well, let's say that kind of gives me two questions I want to look into. So when you were setting that business from the ground up, 2009, what was going through your mind when you did that? And second, let's start with that, and then I'll come into my next question, if that's okay.
Yeah, what was going through my mind? Do you know, at that point, so David, the co-founder of Talkstaff, we were talking, we'd not spoken to each other for years, and he said to me, he'd gone to a bit of a cowboy outfit. They didn't really know what they were doing, and so much so I think the bailiffs were literally taking things away. And he said, I really need to just go alone and do this. Why don't you come and have a chat with me? Ever the salesperson, for a long time, he's now our managing director, was our sales director. And so very, very good sales, obviously not as good as yourself. And took me to a very nice garden in the middle of Derbyshire on a hot sunny day, on the back of the swine flu epidemic.
Oh, yeah.
And, basically just made me sit there and just told me about the lovely, beautiful sights of Derbyshire. For those people that don't know, so I'm from Chester originally, so just outside of Chester, and the big Cheshire Oaks is where I had my very first job selling shoes. That was going to be one of my my try and build in one of my little eyes there. So he got me out there and we spoke about it, and I wanted to move out of the area, and I always talk about my mum, single parent, only child family. I didn't want to move away from her, but I wanted to go and spread my wings. And I talk to my mum more or less every day anyway. And even now at the grand old age of 41, I still talk to my mother.
That's nice. And
FaceTiming her. And I wanted to just go out and move there, but I was in a business where I didn't agree with their values. I was the highest margin billing consultant in the country. I might add, I was only really doing that job for 3 months. I was kind of doing it without having a title. And I just wanted to just go and do what we did best and just go and liaise and talk to people. And that's where the consultancy element came from, because we realized that we weren't just salespeople. I talk over the years, I'm linking to the sales element of it as well. We weren't the Argos order takers. I want one of those, I'll go and get it from the back. We were someone that said why. We were that 2-year-old child that kept saying, why do you want that? And why is that important to you? And what difference will it make? And what about then? Why? And that's the business that we'd created. And that's the business that we started up. And I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And that's why I wanted to do it. And just to extend this question a little bit more, the answer a little bit more, should I say, I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was in school when I was 13, 14. I was building computers from the local computer fair that was at the Northgate Arena in Chester, people that are local to it, the swimming baths and tennis courts. And I would buy all the parts for the computers, and Mr. Clements, my form teacher, was my first customer. And my mum had dropped me off at the end of the road. I'd get the computer and I'd go and sell computers to my teachers, to friends and family. So I was doing it from a really, really young age. And the only reason that entrepreneurial career really stopped is because, a bit of a trigger warning for people, it was a real difficult moment for me, was when just before I was 18 years old, I woke up one day and my face was paralyzed. And it was a real big shock. It was a massive knock to my confidence. I'd felt like my world had come to an end. My identity had just changed within seconds, really, but overnight. And I didn't think that I'd ever be able to be an entrepreneur ever again. And I just didn't think it was in me. So when this opportunity came through and David was in my ear and taking me to lovely pub gardens and going, oh, how lovely is it? I went, yeah, actually, I was 26, I think I was at the time. I'd cried on my 25th birthday because I'd thought that, ultimately I'd got really upset that I'd not done all these things that I wanted to do in my life. And I went, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's go and take over the world. Let's go and do all of these things and let's do some good and change the perception of what was the recruitment industry. And we grew it. So it comes from a really lovely place of diversity, but a difficult place. But yeah, I've always wanted to just go out there. It's never been about the money, and it still isn't. And yeah, it was just a really good opportunity to go out there and challenge me, but a really stupidly crazy thing to do in the middle of a recession and start that recruitment business as it was, when people were losing hundreds of staff and people were shouting down the phone at me going, "Wow, how dare you ring me today? We've just lost 200 people." So it was a difficult one.
Yeah. With that in mind, you're the second guest now to kind of mention doing things not for money, but doing things for a passion. Why to you is that important?
Oh, big, deep question.
It was deep
for
this podcast.
Yeah,
that was
it
deep.
was. Yeah, you've
We'll ask you something
surpassed
silly
expectations.
after.
Yeah. Why is it important to me to do what I do now? I think I've said already, because of the experience that I've gone through. For me, time and time again, look, we have a lifestyle that we've become accustomed to, and my bills are a lot higher than they used to be. I never used to own a house, I now do. I own a bigger house than I used to. It's only a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. I'm quite real in these senses. I'm not in a big detached gated house behind wherever. But for me, why I do what I do comes back to single parent, single child. My mum has always made sure that I've had what I needed, even if it was sometimes not necessarily the best of the brands. She would, kids make fun of you no matter what you wear and with difference. I've always had that instilled in me as values from a young age. So for me, I want to be successful so I could look after my mum. So when my mum is amazing, she struggles a little bit with her mobility, well, quite significantly with mobility. And the best example I can give to you is when, it's only, I think 2.5 years ago, she's been in this bungalow that she now lives in. She couldn't afford to move into this bungalow. Over the years, she's worked in retail. She's done all right. And she won't mind me saying that. And when she moved into bungalow, she was short. So I reached into my bank account and I found, I think it was like £10,000 or £15,000 that I had built up over the years, house deposits, things like that. And I gave it her. And I think if I didn't spend that money, it would have just been sat on that bank account at that point. By the way, I've got nowhere near that in my bank account now, especially having made this big change this year. But for me, that fuels my passion, to answer your question, for doing good, to look after other people, to put other people first. I'm learning not to do that. I'm learning to put myself first, my own mental health and well-being first. But that doesn't have to be about money. And for me, now, if I can save a life, if I can make a difference to people's lives, what I tell people can, get other people to make lots of money, and I'm sure coming on the podcast that you did with me, Rob, it's that you will absolutely make a lot more money because you will be more vulnerable, you'll be more authentic. If everyone else makes money from it, great. But yeah, maybe I'm a bit stupid. Maybe I need to try and exploit money out of people a little bit more than I do. But that's where it comes from. And I think if we put good into the world, we'll get good back.
I'm a big believer in that. That was a massive mic drop moment, Gary. That was a lovely thing to say. And what's your mum's name? Sorry.
Oh, Janet, but we call her Jan because she'll. I always say mother, and she hates me calling mother.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, when your Sunday name. Fortunately, I've called Gary, so she'll only ever call me Gary. But that.
Yeah,
Robert?
I'm a Robert from
yeah,
Sunday.
Robert.
Yeah, when I'm in trouble.
But yeah, so Jan.
Jan
Parsons.
Jan, massive shout out to you, Jan, for being a lovely mother, and I hope you're taking care of your lad as much as he's taking care of you.
My delivery driver.
Yeah. We'll send that on to her.
Yeah.
But I had a little wave from Molly at some point. How are we doing for time, Moles? 6 minutes. What we'll do is we'll take the shortest of quick little breaks. We'll quickly play Jingle Tingle, and we'll get your call to actions because I want people to get in contact with you and I want people to listen to your podcast. Is that all good?
That's good.
Perfect. Right. Stay tuned and we'll be back in just a second. Now recently you've changed roles.
I have.
Within Paragon Sales Solutions,
Yes,
a multi-award-winning sales and marketing agency.
Multi-award winning.
What do you do?
I work in digital marketing.
Oh, not old school marketing anymore.
Not old school marketing. So
break it down then. So I own a business. I need to get my business out there. What can you do for me?
we can boost your brand awareness and your sales in a multitude of different ways. We can help you with social media marketing, which is the most prevalent form of digital marketing. We can, for packages beginning at £99 per month,
Nice.
post across different social media channels, multiple posts a month. We can go in and organically interact with your audiences and potential clients for you. We can follow and get you in touch with businesses, and we can build we can build your brand identity and brand awareness, and we can also do that for personal branding, for business owners and entrepreneurs.
Love it. Sounds too good to be true. If you were ChatGPT, would you say you help to elevate someone?
I would elevate and boost your brand.
Let's join together in benefit. How do I as a business owner get in contact with you then?
You can either email hello@Paragon Sales Solutions. You can call in to
Do you know the number?
01162.
No. Oh. That panicked face. 0116 502
502.
3900.
Give me it again. 0116 502 3906.
No.
I called out. I didn't call in.
So just confirm, don't call that number, because that's going to go to Deirdre.
Call 0116 502 3906.
No.
You just say it.
0116 502 3900 3900 3900 is what I was trying.
3900. Okay.
There we go. Hello and welcome back to the third and final part of this week's episode of How I Failed in Business. Now, this is the best part. No, it's not really. It's not the best. You're the best part, Gary. Sorry.
As a kid, when you said third and final, like, phew, it's nearly over.
No. It just means that I get to play one of my favourite games, Jingle Tingle. Okay, now I warned you about this.
You are.
And I've not told you what Jingle Tingle is. What do you think Jingle Tingle is going to be?
Do we talk about what you said it might be?
By all means. Oh,
Your
no,
alter ego.
Butler Spence.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's,
absolutely. It's not that,
I
I'm
don't think I'm
afraid.
going to jingle your tingle today.
There's no
Thank you.
jingling. I've certainly not got the body for that anymore. But what I'd like to do is play Jingle Tingle with you. So
I'm excited about this. Like,
Good.
it's like memory lane with these, so.
this is what it should be. So I've got with you 3 adverts. Okay, 3 jingles, three TV. These are the 3 TV adverts from the 2000s, and you've got to tell me who they are, which brand, which company they are. It is you pitted against Sophia. Okay, so once again, there's no pressure. Now, I'll be honest, these ones are a bit tough.
Oh.
I'd started to get some ready, but they were too Christmassy. So I had to go back to the drawing board. We'll save the Christmassy ones for another couple of weeks. So I'll play the first one. The first one is from 2008. I'll be honest, if anyone gets this, I'll be surprised. If you are playing along at home, send me a
That's
message.
tough today, really. With all the things, yeah.
Oh, I'm in a mean mood. That's all it is. I'm in a mean mood. Right, let's get ready for number 1. I'll describe this one to you. So there is a man leaving an office in his underpants, and he goes to a water flume, and he goes down the water flume, and he's now out of the office, coming down the skyscraper. No ideas.
Is it Free Mobile?
Say again?
Free Mobile.
Oh, it's not. I can see where you've gone with.
Because they did all like these ponies and kids, like, yeah.
Evian.
Say again?
Evian.
Not Evian. Nothing to do with water, weirdly.
Is it like Anchor
good
Butter
guess.
or something like that?
No. I'll tell you what the
Is it like Lynx or something?
No, the campaign name was Glide with Us. So he's now going through a fruit
Gillette.
and veg supermarket. No. Oh, there's a big clue. I'll give you a big clue. As he's gone down the flume, he's gone through the market, he's picked up some bananas, and he's swiped a debit card.
MasterCard.
You're on the right lines.
Oh. Visa.
Keep thinking banks. Keep thinking banks.
Oh, is it? Yes,
Glide
it
with
was
us.
Abbey National. No, it wasn't Lloyd's TSB. No, I can't think.
No, Sophia.
American Express.
I've
No,
got-
think of a big bank.
I'm going to say it was.
Barclays.
Barclays.
Oh.
It was Barclays. Well done.
I was ready to just be like HSBC,
Just-
Barclays.
Yeah.
It's-
Go through them all. Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
Barclays Glide with us, 2008, and I think it was funny. That was one of the original episodes of the contactless technology, wouldn't it have been? I think
2010?
2008.
8? Wow.
Yeah. So
So if someone says Google, you're like, oh yeah, it's been around forever, and you go, yeah, 28 years. something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the days of Ask Jeeves.
Oh,
I don't know if you do. You
like
remember
us.
Ask Jeeves?
Oh, yes, then the whole new podcast to itself. Though.
Right. Are you ready for number 2? Once again, this one's going to be very tough because there is no recognisable jingles, no recognisable slogans. Okay. Just turn this up for you. So it makes me laugh because I can see what it is.
What's going on?
What the heck?
What's
No.
going on?
That's a big clue.
Oh, that was.
Let
I
me
think
let me just
it's-
let me just re-
I'm going to say it's. Oh, no, I'll give it away. I don't know the actual name.
That's the biggest clue I
Yorkshire
can give.
Gold.
Oh, you're so hot.
PG Tips.
PG Tips.
Oh, I was thinking it was that flour one. You remember there was that little man that used to go around and he was the dough? Is it? I can't think
Oh,
of it.
yes,
What?
I do know what you. No,
Yeah.
no, no. The little dough
man.
boy.
It's like
No,
McDo.
man.
Yeah, he was like
he was
made
on
of
the
dough,
cover.
and it was like flour. It was like plain flour and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
like
it
the
was a dough.
McDougal's flour.
McDougal's,
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like that.
something like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
But I didn't want to say the flour company.
The- So this one here, so that was PG Tips, Put the Kettle On, 2011.
There's
It
only
had,
3 of these, yeah?
Yeah,
So,
oh,
okay,
yeah, don't
pressure's
worry.
on now.
so yeah, so that starred the infamous monkey of PG Tips, and is it Johnny Vegas?
Yeah.
Final one. This one once again was 2011. Let me just get it ready here. Here we go.
Why do cats stare when you're pouring milk?
Cravendale.
Cravendale.
Yes.
Yeah, how did you get that so quickly?
I don't know. As a vegan, I feel ashamed. Yeah, because they say then Daisy breaks through the door. I think, does she or something like that? The cow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can see it. So they
Got
used to
it.
come in and be like, even the cows go crazy for Cravendale.
I knew the
There we are.
voice.
The cows want the milk back, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, so this
Cows
is
want
well done.
Maybe
So
that's what's made me vegan.
maybe. So I'll show you this. So he's pouring his milk. There's cats with thumbs. Like he realised he's got
I
a
know
thumb.
the advert.
He realised he can pick things up, and then all the cats come, and you are right. They open the door, wanting their milk back
Yeah,
or
But
wanting some milk.
it's yeah. As a cat lover, maybe that's it
Yeah.
as well.
But that was a very sweet advert. I do remember.
Oh, saved on the last one then.
There we go.
I feel like
so
I've got something right.
you got. They were a very
didn't
tough
fail.
selection of jingle tingles today. Molly, what was the scores on the doors there?
Because it's an overall winner for Jingle Tingle,
Oh,
Sophia did win that one, so technically it was a draw today.
we're not
Ah.
doing like 2, and yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I can walk away and cry in the car on the way back. It's
Yeah,
fine.
The guest is still winning, so you
Yeah,
are
it's fine.
winning.
absolutely.
Yeah, you didn't let the whole side down.
Yeah.
For the
No.
guests.
Yeah.
Well, Gary, look, I'd love to speak to you for hours. I'm sure the guests would love to listen to you the listeners would love to listen to you for hours. So tell us, where can people find you? Where's best to connect with you? And remind us, where can people hear your podcast?
Yeah, let's do that one first then. So Leaders in Disguise, it's turning into a bit of a movement actually. So watch that space on it. I need to tell you more about that off mic.
Please do, yeah.
Leaders in Disguise. So you'd literally, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere, just type in Leaders in Disguise, or on most platforms it's /Leaders Disguise. Don't know why. So yeah, jump onto that. For me, just search for me. So Gary Parsons, 1 R in Gary, the correct way, and then Parsons. But all of my social media handles are Gary Parsons UK. But please, yeah, just jump onto LinkedIn. I think that's where I am predominantly, and Instagram, and garyparsons.uk is my website. So it's all tied together. It's like I planned it.
So it's like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is in the show notes, I'll include your Gary Parsons website so people can find you and hunt you down. But thank you so much for joining us today. You've been a great guest and some great stories and a really rubbish at jingle tingle. But
we've kept it fairly light, I think.
Yeah, great stories, and I really appreciate you coming on. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the space as well. Really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Shall leave it to you.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching, and we'll be back on Friday with our overview episode where we'll be going through lots of the best bits from this episode. We'll be back again next week with a special guest episode on Tuesday. Is it a special?
Do you know what? I'm so lost in the schedule.
Well,
really
you'll have
don't
to
know.
come back on Tuesday to find
Yeah,
out.
it is. We don't know what's going on half the time.
If you would like to come on the podcast, you can send us an email at howifailedinbusiness@gmail.com, or you can DM us on socials. We are How I Failed in Business just about everywhere. Or you can get in touch with me and Rob directly, Rob Spence and Sophia Grace. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to follow this podcast and leave us a 5-star review. It really does help us so much. And we'll catch you in the last one. The last one? The next one.
It's certainly not the last one.
Bye.
Bye.